What is up, guys? This is Matt from Hunt Fish New England. Today we bring you the 40 Up Tackle Company. They are an ice fishing tip-up manufacturer straight out of Westfield, Massachusetts. They are bringing us a quality ice fishing tip-up for this upcoming season, and they have a couple new models for all of us to enjoy. These tip-ups are 100% made in America, and Carrie and Nate are the new owners, and they are ensuring that majority of these components are also made and resourced here in the States as well. We ask that you follow along with 40 Up Tackle Company on their social media pages and consider adding one of their tip-ups to your arsenal for this upcoming season. We also thank you in advance for liking and subscribing to our channel. Without further ado, here are the folks behind 40 Up Tackle Company. New England is home to some of the most iconic hunting, fishing, and conservation opportunities in the world. Striped bass, whitetails in the big woods and suburbs, native brook trout, Maine moose, and the list goes on. Alongside these opportunities is a world-class, local-driven outdoor industry that is honed into the unique needs of New England hunting and angling. The Hunt Fish New England podcast brings you the men, women, and lore behind this region's incredible outdoor industry. This is hunting. This is fishing. This is New England. I'd like to introduce Carrie and Nate from 40 Up Tackle.
All right, thank you, Matt.
Thank you.
So there's a lot to get to, but I think we should just talk a little bit about what 40 Up Tackle is as a company, your main products, where we're at, and anything else you'd like to share about 40 Up before we get into some history and details.
40 Up is a manufacturer of wood ice fishing tip-ups, and we make everything in-house, including our reels and all of our metal stamped components. And we're working on starting to provide a parts lineup also to support all of our tip-ups as well.
Awesome. And we're here in Southwick, Mass.
That's us.
And you guys are proudly make everything, or as much as possible, here in the U.S.
Yes.
And representative of the 5x10 flag I see up on the wall there.
You know it.
Tell us how 40 Up got started, how people might have known about 40 Up in the past and about 40 Up now.
It's had a long history. I don't know if we actually know when it started.
It said the history we got was the mid-'70s.
Mid-70s, yeah.
Was a Maine fishing guide who designed a fishing trap and started making them by hand. They became part of the U.S. Line Company, which is known for making lots of different fishing lines for all seasons. And they were just trying to offset the winter season, waiting for the soft water to come in. So
Sure.
they started making their ice fishing traps and all of the accessories to go with that as part of their normal product line to make some more money. So they brought in 40 Up, and as U.S. Line moved on out and they eventually got bought by Woodstock Line, 40 Up was just a tackle company on his own, and it was basically one man and a few employees left, and he really hustled it up until we bought it.
And when did you guys get involved?
Early 21, I think it was.
Right.
Yeah.
But the main company, Whip City Tool and Die, who bought 40 Up, they had always manufactured one trigger part for the tip-ups all along.
Mm-hmm.
Even Nate, as a teenager, would run these parts for them and supply them over to their shop in Westfield. So he had a connection all along, and a die that belonged to that company. So when it was time.
You got roots in the company before
Yes.
taking ownership.
Right. Yeah, I've made those parts for years.
So you were like a machinist making different parts. Is that how you kind of got your start with it?
Yeah. I have a long history. I've been here for 30 years for my main company, Whip City Tool. Done it since I was a kid.
Awesome.
In the manufacturing of steel stampings.
And what made you guys want to
take on the company? I mean, you already had Whip City Tool. What made you want to take on 40 Up?
Well, it was during COVID, lots of uncertainties. This opportunity presented itself. Always wanted to make it's kind of my own product, that kind of thing. My other business is all making stuff for other people.
Sure.
So this is a little different. So the opportunity presented itself, and we went with it.
All right. So going on 3 years about now? 2 to 3?
Yeah.
What have been some of the challenges taking it on? Have there been any, from, you said you were making parts for other companies, now you're fully in-house making 40 Up tackle. What have been some of the challenges taking on the company, if any?
Getting all of our equipment up to date. It was 40 Up was a very old company. Trying to make everything a little more modern and safe for our employees. Have a good working environment. It's important to us.
And what does it mean to you guys to be made in the USA and to be local? What does it mean to you guys? Because we were just saying other companies, they sell here, but they're not made here. What does it mean to you guys to make parts, to make the final product, and to sell all within the States?
I think it means a lot to us to support our own people locally, and we take pride in the fact that we're making an item that is generational and it's going to be around for a lot longer than we will be. And just supporting everything locally. We get our stain locally, we get our wood locally. We try to shop small. If we need something for the hardware store, it's down the road. It's not necessarily a big box store. Trying to switch to other companies that make a electric screwdriver that might be American made. I mean, if you do a few small things, it can have a much larger impact, and keeping it in home is important to us.
What percentage of parts do you make for the trap in-house, if you had to put a percentage on it?
I would say 95%.
It's got to be
incredible.
95%, if
Right.
not 97%.
Yeah, I mean the only thing, we don't make the grease, obviously. We don't make the plastic tubes for the grease, and we don't make screws or nuts or springs. So those are minimal components.
Right.
But you'll see us cutting lengths of wood, making sure that everything is stained, and drilling everything out. All the labor is right here in house, so we're not outsourcing any of that kind of thing. We're running the springs to put our flags on, putting the flags ourselves, all that kind of stuff. We do the labor.
Got it.
All the metal components are all stamped here in house from raw aluminum or steel.
Yeah, I'm looking around and it's extremely organized. I've seen some workshops that are just,
Oh,
you couldn't
thank
tell
you.
what's made where, but this is, looks like you got a well-oiled machine here.
Thank you.
Yeah, we should have mentioned at the beginning. We're in the lab. We're in 40 Up's warehouse, factory, office.
Yeah,
It's all of it.
This is where it's all done.
It's great to see it. Yeah. Tell us about I'll start like this. I got a fly rod made last year from Jeff Klain. He owns and operates Brackish Outfitters. We did a podcast with him. Go back and listen to it, people. He was like, all right, Matt, what do you want for your fly rod? And he was asking me, what do I want for specific components? And it made me realize I didn't even know the name of the different pieces and parts of a fly rod, despite having held one my whole life. What do you want for your rail seat? What do you want for this and that? What do you want it made out of? And I was just so unaware of it, and it just made me appreciate it more. And in preparing to meet with you all, I was looking at some tip-ups that I already had, and I was like, I don't even know the anatomy of this tip-up, So how can I ask them exactly what they make and everything? Tell us about the different components of a tip-up, and materials they're made out of, and just kind of what it looks like from start to finish in terms of assembly. Don't give away too many trade secrets, but
I don't think there's many secrets.
Yeah, there's not many secrets left.
Everybody's making their own too at this point. So I feel like I feel you on that because I feel like I'm making names up for pieces all the time because I'm like, what do we call this one? You know, they used to have part numbers and things, and we don't know where any of this information came from and where it all went, to be honest with you. But we start with the wood. Obviously, we use poplar, and we have to cut down our lengths. We have I think it's 26-inch main stick, so that when our flags fly, it flies at 40 up. Hence the name. That's right. It's important to us. And we use a water-based stain to treat all of our sticks, no matter what color they are. We assemble that. We also staple on our clips that retain the flags, and that the trip rods get attached with as well.
Gotcha.
Our trip rods are also stamped in-house, and they are made of steel as well. The reels are aluminum.
Yep.
And those are we stamp the parts over at Whip City, and they bring them over to us, and we assemble them here, and then we can attach them with our machine screws and hardware, depending on which trap that we're making.
Wow.
Our flags get slid into the back every time, and they get a little crimp on there, and then we just put a hand staple on there, which everybody seems to have missed. One of our most commented items is one staple on the back to retain the flag so it doesn't fly around when you pick it up.
In storage when it's
Okay.
being
Yeah,
stored. Otherwise, the spring's bouncing around everybody's buckets everywhere.
There's been some interesting conversations surrounding this one staple, so rest assured, we put that staple back in for everybody.
It has an intent.
Yeah, it has an intent. So, I mean, it's a pretty simple trap, in my opinion, but there's just a lot of steps that go into it. People think, oh, I could make that for a few dollars. You could. I'm sure you could after you got a stapler and a nailer and you got all of your clips made and all that good stuff. But we are set up right here to do it all at the same time and in one room. And there's plenty of people that are out there making their own traps. So,
Right.
Yeah, I mean, I tried to modify one that I had, and it was I just messed it up, so I couldn't imagine trying to build one, and at least a quality one.
yeah, I think the biggest thing is people want the clips because you can't take off one of our clips easily without mangling it because it's aluminum.
Mm-hmm.
So that just basically goes in the recycle bin after that. But that's fine. Another thing, we're working on those parts lineup for so people can fix their old traps. Lots of antique traps out there, 30, 40 years old, and it's amazing to me. So we're hoping to be able to help support that need as well.
Sure. Like doing refurbishing?
Yeah, a lot of guys. A big thing I get is a lot of people like to collect. They tag sale. They collect these traps. They find people don't know the gold mine they got.
Mm-hmm.
They refurbish them, and a lot of them donate to children's charities or to fishing tournaments. They're teaching children out on the ice. Trying to get the next generation going. It's probably one of the most common things that I get an email on.
Got it. And you had mentioned, the unique piece of the name, right? And the flag's up, it's at 40. Are there any other unique features about your traps compared to others in terms of like the color of stain or material used? How would I know it's a 40 up if I was looking at a little assortment of different tip ups?
Right. The green is our senior. That's like people call them to the greens, or the seniors. That's like the OG 40 up tip up that everybody seems to.
Yeah, not that other
recognize.
traps haven't been made in that color yet, but that's what everybody asks for. They want the green one. And the green one has been made in several different variations for different areas based on our discussions with other bait and tackle shops and other trap owners. But we're only going to make it one. We're going to make one green one in one way, just for the sake of consistency and revamping in the business model to make things easier on everyone.
Yeah, it's like your signature piece.
Yeah, that's right.
Yeah.
Right.
That's right.
So you took on the company a couple years ago. How did the pandemic affect business, or did it give you a chance to kind of like get your bearings, get the business model together, organize, your manufacturing setup, or did you kind of take on the company and just go full tilt? What was kind of the order of plays there?
Well, it did a few different things with the pandemic and the timing of everything. My manufacturing business was really slow at the time when we first acquired the company. And shortly thereafter, as things started opening up and getting back at it, manufacturing business took off. It hasn't stopped since, which is great. That's why it also took us so long to get 40 Up back up and running, because I only had so many people and so much time to get it going. And also there was problems getting raw materials, the aluminum. So that took quite a while to acquire all of that material.
And once you got up and running, did you notice like a big need from the retailers for 40 Up?
Yeah, we had some push behind us. A couple people knew about us before we even started a website, and Carrie started a Facebook and Instagram and things. So we had a little bit of push with a local retailer, or wholesaler, excuse me. And so that kind of started us moving forward, and we realized we need to hit this season. So started at it, and went 7 days a week, and late nights and long weekend days.
I think Nate's missing the part where I actually didn't work for the company until October.
Well,
ever. We've been married for 23 years this year. Yeah. So I didn't work for his company before now. But because he was so busy and he kept coming out here, and he would come out to the warehouse and do work during lunch or after hours. He had, he takes his other guys off of a job to come and squeeze some work into here, and it was kind of turning into a little hot mess. That was an investment that was kind of on the side. And I said, I was like, we really need to start making a little bit of money back, because you're kind of in the hole, like let's get this going. And let me just start a little website. Let me just start a little Facebook. Oh yeah, that was a great idea. Welcome to the world of the internet. And then the next thing you know, we had a wait list. And that's something that we didn't anticipate at all.
I mean,
it was just like, here he thought he was
just
just buying a piece of history that he could help save. And the next thing you know, people want traps. And I'm like, we're going to make traps now. So, 7 days a week is how we would go. And I learned a lot about making ice fishing traps pretty quick.
And in preparation to the podcast, you gave me a disclaimer. You're like, we don't fish.
Yep, that's us.
We don't fish.
Which I think makes this even better, honestly. You guys saw something, it has a heritage to it, and you're bringing it into its new form, and I think it's incredible. How has your introduction to the outdoor community been, like in terms of working with all these tackle shops and retailers, wholesalers, people reaching out like, hey, I had this trap from 3 decades ago, like I need a new 40 Up, or can you refurbish this? What's your interaction been with the outdoor community?
They have been amazing.
Right.
Hands down, a very welcoming community. And I was really nervous and hesitant to say, hey, we don't fish. I live in a town that has 3 ponds, and I fished a little when I was a kid, but and people are like, I don't care, but you know what? We can make the heck out of these traps, because that's what we do. So without the machine shop, I don't think there would be a 40 Up, because without Nate's knowledge and all of his guys behind him, all this machinery that I'm sitting by wouldn't run. All this stuff used to be done by other companies. Now we've just regrouped it. We're selling less products, but we're focusing more on our few products that we will have. So, yeah, it's been an interesting adventure talking to all the people. But I'm telling you, the secrets that people will tell you when they know you don't fish is amazing.
Yeah, the Vegas rule just goes right out the window.
Yeah,
Right.
yeah. We've had a few contentious conversations that have to be kept secret for the rest of my life. I have to die with some fishing secrets. I'm sure those people will remember who they are, because I know how to catch a crappie now. But yeah, so it's amazing. People I've had conversations with people who are like, oh, hey, up on Champlain, we have these traps, and this is all we should use. I'm like, well, I don't think we made those traps, but oh yeah, we did. They Brad Gage, who used to be the owner, He's since passed on. It's unfortunate that we couldn't get him back in here before his health declined to come and see what we've made. But he would make things specifically for different resellers. So I've learned a lot about big water and small water, and the need to have a little bit of line on some of our reels, and things that I never thought I'd be talking about.
Sure.
But yeah, all these guys have been amazing, and especially even the guys that worked with Brad for 40 years are just happy that we're able to offer them some type of product.
Sure.
Yeah, we've delivered up north and here and there to small tackle shops. I like to meet with these people, and they're all amazing groups of people. Always friendly, welcoming. Like Carrie said, we don't fish, so we were like, I don't know how these people are gonna accept us.
Mm-hmm.
And everybody's been welcoming.
That's incredible. Yeah, I think there's a stigma sometimes to like the outdoor community. It's a bunch of Elmer Fuds or what have you, and people trying to keep their secrets and they don't want anybody new. But it seems like it was the absolute opposite for you guys.
Yes.
Yeah,
Yep.
it's been amazing. I did learn.
Absolutely.
Never ask them where to find the fish on the ice, because that's a big secret too. Just like a little warning for anybody who might be new. Just saying.
Of course, yeah. Yeah, I've had nothing but the same experience. I think the outdoor community is one of the most honest and welcoming communities. So,
Yep, I agree.
And it's only better with you guys in it, honestly. Where's your main clientele? Would you say there's like a particular like hotspot of clientele, and where else in the states outside of New England are you finding 40 up traps?
That's a great question. Massachusetts, central, out a little bit out the eastern part of central Mass, I would say there's a large concentration. But because this is our first season back, I haven't been able to reach all of our customers, but we have a lot in New York, which I was really surprised to see, but it makes sense now. Up in the upper state, obviously, and then New Hampshire, Vermont. Not a lot of resellers in Maine so far. I hope to be able to reach up there in the next few years. And we have our one premier online retailer, and he has told us that he's shipped out to Minnesota. We don't have resellers out there yet, but because he's online, he's able to do that for us. And I recently had somebody ask about 40 ups for Alaska, and I'm wondering if that's a thing.
Okay.
That would be exciting for me.
That's incredible.
Yeah.
Yeah. Coast
Yeah.
to coast.
Right.
Yeah.
Now, like you'd mentioned, you don't do retail or direct sale to
No, we don't.
the end user. So who's like your main customer base?
We sell directly. Right now we have a single wholesaler, and so he reaches most of Massachusetts and a little bit of New York for us. And then we just sell to your average bait and tackle shops. So whether you're just going to order 20 from us, or you're going to order, 300 from us, doesn't matter the size of your bait and tackle shop. As long as you're a shop, I can sell you some traps.
Yep.
Great. And is there a particular way that people can find which shops carry 40 up?
Oh, yes. Please visit our Where to Buy tab on 40uptacklecompany.com. I'll keep that list updated, and if they have an online store, I'll try to put a hyperlink on there for them.
Okay, great. So it's 40 Up Tackle Company, all spelled out, not Tackle Co.
No, not Tackle
All right.
Co.
40
That's right.
Up Tackle Company.com.
That's right. Yeah,
That's
that
right.
one was taken. Sorry.
All right. Was it really?
It was.
Oh, from
yeah.
the previous?
Yeah,
Or-
well, there was a whole little mess between the old owner and us that happened, and unfortunately, there are some repercussions from that. But that's why we're 40 Up Tackle Company.
Got it.
.com.
Okay, noted. We'll leave it at that. All right. So where does the entrepreneurial spirit come from for you guys? Not everyone would just be like, oh, this company was nice, and I see that it's going under or that it's going to be open. Where does the entrepreneurial piece come from? Where you're like, you know what? Let's take this on, and let's get this company going.
I think it comes back to American manufacturing, honestly. 40 Up's always been a great product, and just keeping it made in America is really my drive, and keeping small business alive, because every day small business is dying.
Yeah.
So anything we can do to keep that going, that's my drive.
It's motivating to hear, and it just I think it for me being like more of an end user, when I'm using a product and I just see if it's not made in the States, it just has a different feel to me. To use something made here, catching something here with it just makes that experience that much better. So
that's what we're hoping for.
Yeah. So I think it's a shared value system from parts and manufacturing all the way to end user. Where do you see 40 Up going in the future? Are there anything big coming from you all? You still just trying to get things off the ground? What's going on with 40 Up?
Well, our as Carrie mentioned earlier, our big push now is getting our parts lineup together for the upcoming next season, and we got two more traps that we're going to be working on to get back to to 4 traps total for us right now.
Yeah, and I think getting in touch with all of the old customers that we haven't been able to catch up with yet, because this was such an upside down season. I wasn't even able to really pick up the phone and say, hey, we're back in business. Can I send you some traps? It was basically like, let's put all these fires out first, and then maybe next year we can do a better job, which is fine. It's kind of it's an opposite problem of a startup to have, is to have people knocking on your door for product. But it's not how we wanted to do it. And we have a lot of things we're learning about. This is, like we said, he's a manufacturer first, so coming up with a finished end product and making a catalog and an order form, all these things are so foreign to us that it takes us forever to learn. I mean, I'm a stay-at-home mom that came off the last 13 years. I had to learn Office 365 all over again. And let me tell you, that was not a fun thing to do. I mean, we just came out of the pandemic with kids at home at school, so that was also fun. But everything is a little bit of an extra challenge for us because we haven't done this before, and but we hope to get a good practicing business, consistent, a consistent product that you're going to see the same thing, not whatever we had on hand kind of product, and we're going to try to make sure we can continue to take care of our resellers and make sure that we can get people in the door for our product to their door, and then he can jump off from there. That's why we decided, let's just hold off on the retail, because we need to know our limits. And that turned out to be one of them, is that I can't make traps, sell individual traps, package them, ship them, and do everything as one person. I've had one consistent part-time person for the last season, and that's just not a capability of 1.5 people.
Sure.
So plus being a parent, and Nate runs his regular shop during the day, so it was kind of crazy during ice, before the ice season there, and I'm trying to fix that for next year, but in the next few years, hopefully we'll have a better idea of what people need on a consistent basis and be able to meet that need in a timely manner.
Great. Yeah, it sounds like you have a great foundation, with things, and it's so reassuring to hear that you put the product first. It's, sometimes companies just open up and they're good at the 360 and they're good at the, all the marketing and everything, but the product comes second. And for you guys, it's, it's more reassuring to know that you're focused on American made, you're focused on a quality product, and you'd like to do more, but you want to focus on quality first, to support your values in that, and then just see where it goes. So I think that's just reassuring, if anything, for sure.
Right.
But
that's why this year, when we started getting going, we had 4 tip-ups ready to go, and then we were like, Carrie and I were talking, and we were like, we can't do 4. So we just did the 2, the seniors and our Iceman, and that got us going for the season. So.
Say one more time the difference between the 2, the senior and the Iceman.
So the Iceman has a larger reel. It also has an adjustable tensioner for the reel. So, so that's kind of like our premier. That's like the high level, if you want the
Yep.
Cadillac of tip-ups from us. But then we have the senior, which is the one everybody wants to use. It's got the 2.5-inch metal reel. They're both very similar, same size, same flag height. But the 3-inch reel is with the spring on it is what makes our Iceman stand out a little bit more.
Got it.
Next year we're gonna add in Big Red.
Yep.
And we're probably going to make some changes to our original ideas that we have on the website based on some discussions I've had with some fishermen, and then we're going to also, of course, we need our junior to go with our senior. So that's the one that a lot of kids will use in tournaments and things like that. I know in the past that when they have a kids fishing derby that they try to provide traps for those kids. So that's a little shorter one. Doesn't hit 40 up, but it's going to be like the senior, just shorter.
Sure. Oh, that's great. All right. Anything else you'd like to add before we wrap things up?
No.
No, I just want to say
We're good.
we appreciate all the support we've had this year. Again, I'm sorry I can't get to all of our customers that they've had in the past, but we will get there, I promise.
Mm-hmm.
I don't feel like we're going anywhere for a while, so trust us to make the traps that you've been used to seeing out there in all the stores.
And will we ever see you at any outdoors shows in the near future?
Oh, you might just see our 40 Up logo floating around a sportsman's show or two. We don't usually sell at the shows because I don't want to undercut my resellers because they're the most important people to us.
That's right.
But I love having a chat and maybe find a couple new bait and tackle shops while we're in the aisle. And if you do see us, please feel free to give us stop us in the aisle. I might even have a little treat for you in my pocket.
All right. If somebody does have a shop or is a reseller, how should they get in touch with you if they want to sell some 40 Up?
If they want to sell 40 Up, they should check out our website at the 40uptacklecompany.com, and we have there's a link on our FAQ page that says my shop wants to sell, and you can just submit all your information on that form, and I will get an email, and we'll definitely get back to you.
Got it. And I know a few shops that I'm going to strongly suggest they get some 40 Up in there.
Awesome. We appreciate it.
All right, let's talk. You said a big part of your company's growth has been exposure on the internet in terms of social media.
That's right.
So let's ask everybody who's listening to this. Let's start with Instagram. The handle's at 40 Up Tackle Company, and 40 it's 40.
That's right.
What's the Facebook page name?
Same 40 Up Tackle Company.
All right. And we already talked about the website, 40 Up Tackle Company. 40 is 40, but everything else is spelled out, and that's 40uptacklecompany.com. And I got the site open, right now. It's very user friendly, and tells you all about the products. You can learn more about the history. A lot of things we touched on here, but yeah, there you have it. There's the contact info right there in the website to get in touch with them if you're a shop or a reseller who wants to get 40 Up in your arsenal. All right, thank you both very much for having me and for being part of this. So yeah, people get online, get some follows for Carrie and Nate and 40 Up Tackle Company, and we're looking forward to seeing the other products coming out next year. Thank you guys.
Thank you.
Thank you very much.